This is so exciting. We've gathered a great bunch of people here today, and also there's a lot of people joining this webinar. And before we introduce the gentleman right next to me, I would just want to frame the narrative around what we're going to talk about today. So discovery has been, of course, such a valuable tool and part of the funnel in ecom over the years, and are still very much important. But it is changing, and it is changing kind of fast right now. And what we're going to do here today is we're going to unpack what we see for the future in terms of discovery, what we can learn, and what we can predict is going to happen in ecom in terms of discovery. It's not only about search bars anymore and traditional navigation. It's something else, and we're gonna untap that today. And with me, I have three gentlemen, and we're gonna look at this topic from four levels or four segments, and each of you, and I'm included in that, is going to cover each of these layers. So I'm going to start from the bottom up with Max as the foundation layer here, coming from Centra. Can you just introduce yourself?
Sure thing. Thanks, Emil. Nice to be here with all of you guys. So I'm Max. I'm the VP Partnerships and Expansion at Centra. Was lucky enough to come across Centra some 8 years ago. Found Centra on LinkedIn and figured they had a pretty cool branding, a lot of cool brands on their website, a lot of buzzwords like headless ecommerce, etc. that I didn't know anything about, but figured the founders were a group of really smart people. So I figured I'll tag along for the ride, and I've held various commercial roles in the company since then. Been part of a really exciting journey growing this company to where we are today. And it's a pleasure to be here today with you guys.
Buzzwords work, right?
They do.
The second layer, the intelligence layer, and then an intelligence guy also, maybe. Axel, welcome to the conversation. Can you just introduce yourself also?
Yeah, thank you. Nice to be the intelligence layer. We'll see about that after this hour. But I'm currently interim CEO of Depict. I've been with the company for 5 years. Also came in a long time ago, and I thought the founders, Anton and Oliver, really smart people. I mean, it felt really cool to work for a crazy 17-year-old back then. And it's been a fun roller coaster ever since. But I'm excited to be here with all of you.
Great
story.
Yeah, and the third layer is the top layer, and that is focusing on like the experience, where people actually land and where they will be guided through the site. And I'm going to cover that part besides being the moderator for this conversation. My background is that I'm creative director for the design ecom agency Grebban, based in Sweden. We work with several clients like in different markets, but mostly in UK and Scandinavia and a bit US. Partnered with N07 for a long time, so really happy to have you here, Henrik. Yeah, been working with everything in ecom, design, branding, all of it. But the special guest here today is you, Henrik, and you're the reality layer, I call it. We're gonna, coming off of a fresh launch of a new site like about 2 weeks ago now. So we have fresh eyes from you and a bit of knowledge and experience regarding that. Very welcome. Can you please just give us a brief introduction as well?
Sure, thank you so much, and thank you for being the reality layer, the face of it all. So I've been with N07 for the past 11 years. Back then we were a wholesale-driven brand. Fast forward to today, where N07 web shop is our number one flagship shop. together with, of course, own retail and concession. But I mean, full focus on e-com. And previous experiences, I've worked at Bedway and Zalando, so online only.
Great. Perfect. So I'm going to start with a question to all of you. And it's basically circling around the core topic here. And it's about like search and traditional navigation also, by the way. But is it going to look similar as it has looked until this day? Or is search just a part of a bigger, intelligence system? And I'm gonna aim that question for you, Axel, I think first, and then we tag along the rest of the group.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on which level you look at it. I mean, in the most narrow sense, search, if you think about like the search bar online, obviously that's just one channel in which you will find normally a high converting one, but so an important one, but just one out of many ways in which like how you find your products on an e-commerce store, right? But if you broaden the scope and think about search as like finding products and finding information more generally, I think that we're seeing some changes here actually with AI. Hopefully, we're gonna probably mention AI a few times in this call. Like generally speaking, like in the broader sense, with how we interact with ChatGPT and how we interact with Google, we've sort of seeing that like search in of itself is slightly changing from maybe what we're used to. And I think this will transfer over time to like direct e-commerce websites as well. So search and like in the broader sense of how you're finding products, that will change over time a little bit. I'm not one of these, that scream everything, the shopping experience is just going to complete change, but I'm sure there will be changes in like how we interact to brands and like how we find those products. It will be more than just a traditional keyword based search. At least we will find new creative ways of like how you find products and interact with brands, for sure.
Yeah, and it's also like sticking up with like how the behavior change and how the demands change for the UX in itself. So already we are quite frustrated with like those traditional search bars, right? You want the conversation today, and hopefully we lean more towards that in the future. Max, what do you have to say on the subject?
No, but I think I totally agree. Obviously, it's about to change. Will everything change overnight? I don't think so. But obviously, there's a lot of new cool technologies in place and new channels in place where brands can discover products, whether that's on site in search engines or in various LM search engines. There's a lot of opportunities there. And I think our purpose as a platform is to provide structured data that these technologies can then use and these brands can use to sell their products in more channels and deliver a more personalized experience when they're on the site.
Henrik, we're gonna do a deep dive on you pretty soon, but have you anything to share regarding this?
I can just echo what Max says, personalization when it comes to searches. Agentic, I've seen some great use cases out there, really been pushing those chats as well. And what I've seen so far is very impressive, especially for a brand like ours. We're big in pants, and we have a variety of pants, but kind of like telling the look and feel and the fit is the use cases I've seen is very, very interesting, and we are just at the beginning. So for sure, making that intelligent is the next step.
Yeah. And I agree with you guys. We're gonna head over to you, Henrik, and keep the focus on you. You just launched a site, and launching a site demands a lot of planning and involving a lot of people in your organization, for sure. Can you give us just a little bit of like background info on what was most important for you going into this new project and this new launch of a new site?
Sure. So the background is that we have been working on new brand identity for a couple of years. First wave of implementing that was in our own retail together with concessions, which we started 2 years ago, and then steadily we expanded that to all our own retail and concession, and even our own office got refurbished. And the last in line was our own ecom. So basically, own ecom is aligned with the rest of what you see of NN out there. So kind of like bridging the gap between retail and ecom.
Yeah. And how much of that like was actual going to the product data and structure versus front end design? Like how did you like balance that focus?
We balanced it. We balanced that by having all stakeholders on board and getting them on board very early, going from marketing, even the board or sale agents. So they kind of like all had something at stake. So that was kind of like the beginning of it all. So we laid the foundation, and also, as I said previously, so the foundation was okay. This is the brand experience you want when you hit our PLPs or when you hit our front page. That it is aligned and that everybody has something at stake. Not only ecom, but everybody.
Of course. And was that a new challenge for you, just by curiosity? Because what I see with other brands, like it's pretty hard for people to take action on this new AI thing, because no one actually owns that part. Was that a bit of a issue for you and a challenge?
No, I mean we're still at the beginning. So when it comes to AI, so and same goes for many other brands. We're in the exploration, the discovery phase. So it has been. I mean, AI is and together with the Depict as well is kind of like how can we do this intelligent and same goes with the CMS. How can we incorporate the AI into the CMS when it comes to content, when it comes to copy and making that as fast and smooth as possible, and also so it is aligned with our brand values. So we also always do a Q&A. Is this according to who we are as a brand as well?
Yes, agree on that. And I mean, it's only gone 2 weeks now. But have you seen any like results or effects on the strategy that you started here?
I mean, we haven't seen any decline in key metrics, and we can see that that the user is exploring a wider range of PLPs and PDPs. So they're going more and more down the funnel. So they are getting inspired, which is key with this redesign process we've been in. Is inspiration is key for us as a brand. We have approximately 450 SKUs, and important for us in the segment we are, in the premium segment we are, is to curate everything that we do. So the end consumer can see, okay, there is a reason why the pattern on this knit is cut as it is, or that we use this kind of fabric, that we elaborate that on page. So key is inspiration. And so they can see that we are more than just a clothing brand. Yeah.
Interesting. That leads me over to you, Max. Since discovery is now more of a system, the architecture, of course, matters more, basically. And how do you think like headless unlocks this potential? Versus how traditional architecture maybe struggled with. What's your point there?
Yeah, good question, and one that fits us very well these days. Actually, we really welcome this new world. From our perspective, headless means that the front end or the head or whatever you want to call it. It can be anything. It can be your digital flagship store, aka your website, or whatever you want to call it. It can be a app, mobile experience. Back in the days when I started at Centra, people were talking a lot about wearables. It could be pushed to a wearable. I don't think that's as hot anymore. But basically what it means is that you have complete freedom of pushing out your experience to whatever front end or shop layer you want to. There are no, we don't deliver a front end template. So what we do is we team up with brands and fantastic agencies such as Grebban and solutions such as Depict, and then Grebban, together with these solutions, build an experience that without any restrictions in whatever front end it may be. And in days like today, that's really, really good because it opens up a lot of opportunities of how that looks without limitations.
Yeah, and just that, like the framing of headless, is there something that brands misunderstand about it, or how do you see that?
Yeah, how much time do we have?
Not much.
I'll try to keep it brief. Yeah, I think there is like a big misunderstanding around headless in some areas. I think people a lot of times misinterpret headless or get it mixed up with composable or whatever you want to call it, meaning composable from my perspective, it means that basically you have one API and you compose all the different systems you need from scratch to build your ecom experience or ecom platform. From our perspective, headless just means that what I just mentioned previously, the front end or the head can be anything.
Yeah.
Centra as a platform provides a lot of core systems around order management, pricing, promotions, internationalization. And what's particularly exciting for this talk is obviously the PIM that holds all the product data in a structured way for fashion brands. That product data can then be used by you guys to build really cool stuff in the front end without a hassle or without having to adhere to a templated solution.
Yeah.
So I think from our perspective is like headless is not complex. It just means that you have complete freedom to design cool stuff in your front end.
Cool. And speaking of that, like a product layer, are there any hygiene factors that you think should be prioritized to like enable an AI-powered experience?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm probably going to sound like a little bit of a broken record in this call, and I mean the answer is I'm not going to say boring, but it's basic. It's like you need clean product data.
Yeah.
To do this. If your product titles, attributes, or taxonomy is messy, the AI solution that you want to implement doesn't really have anything to work with.
Yeah.
For us that work in fashion, this specifically means having consistent product attributes around color, material fit, category, clear taxonomy, like what is a shirt versus what is an overshirt versus what is a jacket, for example. And have good metadata on styles and variants.
Yeah.
AI will not like magically understand your catalog. It will learn from the structure you give it. So it's our that's basically the role we play in it. We provide, a product data model that is structured, and obviously it's up to the brands to make sure that that data is clean and in order for it to work really well.
Yeah, and from your perspective, if the product data is in place, what are the potentials? What are the effects we can see?
Well, basically, you can have a solution such as Depict that can use that product data to provide a much more personalized and immersive experience for the customer.
Yeah,
that's one good example.
That was the bridge I was looking for.
Good thing.
Because now we're going over to you, Axel. So when you have when the product house is in order, like what becomes possible from your end?
But exactly what Max said there. I mean, it is the core basis. Let's say if you easily think about it, like as the product structure on the one hand, and then maybe you have like the customer data and the intent-based data on the other hand. you need a solid understanding of the product. That's the one building block, and the other building block being how customers maybe interact on your website, what they search for, essentially those intent signals that they show. If you put those together, I mean, that's how you create a nice product discovery experience, like how you can present products in a nice way that's relevant for whatever merchant. So it's really one of the core building blocks, which is, fits really well together.
Yeah. And in terms of like ranking and relevance and automated merchandising and all those things, that what can we see there? Like, what are the facts?
No, I mean, it's the same thing there. Like if you have those two building blocks and put them together, I mean, that's what allows, I think, for a nice product discovery experience. And what I like with it, so we can on our hand provide with, okay, the most relevant product to whatever, customer X, right? Depending on who they are, what they browse for, and from which channel they come from, right?
Yeah.
That together with someone like you guys at Grebban, you can design that experience, which is really nice on the front end as well. So it comes together in a neat way. Because I think a lot of the, I mean, Grebban, Centra, you guys have done a great job of like innovating on the back end. And if you think historically within like e-commerce and retail, a lot of the innovation, I think, in the last 20 years have happened on the back end. But what we see now is, okay, with this headless setup, you're allowed to do more exploration, be more creative on the front end as well. So hopefully we can see a lot more innovation and like cooler ways of like displaying products and your brand online. That's what I'm excited about. Like e-commerce have looked a bit too much similar, I think, over the last few years. So what this sort of basic structure allows for is like for really, really cool human experiences on the front end, and with a smartness from Depict on top of that. So like it doesn't just look cool, but it's also like the relevant product for the relevant person, right?
I totally agree. I mean, working with ecom for a decade, it's you're kind of tired of looking at the same thing, and it's kind of static experiences also if you compare with other products out there. So I mean, it's a huge win, and I really think that like this is the time where tech actually meets design in a real way. But in terms of like how that is changing, the difference between search reacting to keywords and discover responding to intent. What's your thoughts on that? Like, what's the biggest change?
Yeah, I think biggest change is just that it's two things. It's easier in a way, so we can do more with AI now. It's easier to provide a more personalized and better relevant product discovery experience, I'd say, which is nice. On the other hand, I mean, people and consumers are expecting a bit more. So I think it's good. It's pushing us in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
Like if you land on a page and you, simple example, right? But if you search for a navy shirt, right? And in 07, you call it blue. You kind of want that shirt to show up. And like you want to be able to search for more things than just like a keyword-based search. And these new technologies are slowly and increasingly allowing for that. So you can get to that. I don't know. We try to always look at the physical store and how you interact between a brand and consumer there and try to replicate that online to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Like you can go to a person in a store and ask, like, they get a scan of who you are as a person, right? And they guide you with that brand tone of voice and like puts you through with a proper outfit, not just, do you have jeans? Yes, they're here. It's more immersive than that. I think it guide you. I think that's what this technology really slowly are starting to allow for. I mean, we have a long way to go, but I think it's allowing for that more immersive, better experience, like just making e-commerce more fun and better for the consumers. And for, I mean, Henrik and 07, like you guys have such a strong brand, and like obviously you want to be able to, you want to portray that online as well, which is like your most important channel.
Yeah, and maybe, sorry, Henrik. Go
yes, I totally agree. Now we do it. We did it fairly manual. So you looked at, okay, what were the key searches without results, and then build upon kind of like a funnel from there. But you start out with the assumptions, but then kind of like nowadays, when it's getting more and more intelligent. But you start with an assumption, but you end out somewhere else. and that's kind of like what the tools can provide, that you get to the end goal faster.
Yeah. And on a day-to-day basis, like what has the biggest change been for you, Henrik? You think?
Like website in general, going from the old
I mean,
ones.
for the organization, this question was actually supposed to be to Axel, but like for brands working with intelligent systems, like
Yes.
what will change for you guys?
I mean, a lot. to say it short. I mean, it's much leaner, much smoother. The process of just updating the site, you can update it within minutes in comparison to, I mean, literally hours. Just updating a front page, syncing PLPs much faster, and the way the site loads as well, super smooth. So back end stuff that we kind of like have time to do the fun stuff, have time to kind of like curate the pages even more. And I mean, we are live 2 weeks, so and we're still at the fairly beginning. We will roll out more and more modules in the coming weeks and months, where when people are getting more let's say familiar with the new system, but so much faster, smoother. So feedback has been great internally, and that should also be visible. You can see it right now, but in the coming months or weeks, also be visible for the end consumer.
Love to hear that it actually affects the culture inside your house, also how you work.
There's a question in the chat that I just saw here as well, and it's to you, Henrik, as well. So I just want to jump in with that. So, like, Henrik, do you believe a broad spectrum of product is as important as a unique identity for a brand? And like, how important is brand identity when it comes to merchandising?
For it means I mean, putting percentages on it, but it means it is the key driver. Is kind of like, okay, having this curated website where we can feel and look who we are as a brand without telling too much, telling it by showing the imagery, which is us. So it goes hand in hand, that you are getting inspired by watching the products and can easily also add them to the basket.
Thank you, Henrik, and great question. Just last one for you, Axel. In terms of like uplift and behavior shift, do you have anything like measurable to share, like the big differences here?
Insane. Big numbers. No, but I'd say generally speaking, I mean, with the brands we work with, they're twofold. One is the more indirect, which is like your internal workflows. Maybe get to the place where you want to be with your PLPs and your recommendations faster. So just cut off time. That obviously depends on how much time you spent before. But I think that's a big, like, non-bullshit metric that's nice. Like, how much time were you spending on like merchandising before? How fast do you get there now? I think that's the direct one. And then clearly, depending on your starting point, I think you guys at 07 did a pretty good job before. It's just like with a lot of manual power in terms of like relevant search results and like relevant product recommendations. If you go from 0 to nothing there, obviously it has a huge impact on like conversion rate and average order value and things like that. But you guys were probably doing a pretty good job. It's just that it took a lot of manpower, I'd say.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm gonna put my other hat on now and just talk a little bit about the experience on top of things. And I'm not gonna do an interview on myself. That would be weird. But just trying to frame it from our perspective as a design agency here as well. There's a lot to say about everything. But what I do think is going to be like the topic of 2026 is in intentional shopping, like being able to actually guide people and customers to an intent or for an intent that they have, basically than just presenting products for people. So we're shifting from product listings and just throwing a product catalog to people to become more guiding, to be more inspirational, but also actually give people an answer to a need that they have. For example, occasion, looks, everything that is attached to something more like an event or a situation in real life, right? And you could break it down into in terms of how we look at discovery today. I think we have two key customers to follow and two key customers to actually understand. And the first one I want to bring up is the customer who does the discovery outside of our site today, because that's going to happen. We're going to lose a bit of control on the discovery part outside to agents and to ChatGPT and things like that, who will recommend you guys. And if you do the job that Max and Axel and Henrik has talked about here regarding how you build your product foundation, you will get recommended by these agents. And what happens then when people actually land on your site? They already have some kind of trust in you. So what you have to do is to validate that trust rather than to build it up from scratch, right? And people will land on PDP most of the time. They will not do the whole discovery through the whole site. So what puts that in perspective? Like what can we do on PDP that validates people without just like forcing them to purchase? We also want them to come back later on, right? So there's a couple of things I want to talk about when it comes to PDP. And one thing is, I do think, just as a start, I love the way you talked about the values for NN07, Henrik, and not getting lost in this new discovery world. It's important to stick to your values. It's important to stick to your promise to your client customers, right? So one thing I think will be crucial is the brand toolbox that you formed now, Henrik. That is really valuable when people are discovering things through agents, where they will compare products beside each other. So they will compare your products to your biggest competitors. And it's really important that your art direction, your tonality, your voice is translated from your site to these agents. I think that will be something for all brands to win that fight in that comparison game there. And I also do think like PDP overall is, you need to balance how you validate, but also balance that with intention and desire. So for example, as you just said, Henrik, people have read a lot. It's about conversation. Now it's about showing also. So if you Google or if you ask ChatGPT what is important now for these new customers, they will say, well, put all labels you have on it and, add FAQs and all those things. I'm not saying that is not important, but you can't forget your voice here as well. I think that is going to be crucial. And something that is going to be changing also, I do think like PDPs is going to be having a much more intentional focus. I think we're going to see more like looks as PDPs, like the summer travel outfit as one PDP, not just that jacket, right? The whole look is going to be something to purchase from a PDP, and I think that concept is going to be just you can see it all over again. The other customer that I think is important is the one we're talking about here, the loyal customer that is going through all funnels at your site from start to finish, like traditional way, but through different patterns, right? And I do think that what's important there is to have clearer entry points. We can't just rely on top categories like outdoor and jackets. We need to be more specific. talk more about like early spring looks or something, and put that in the navigation to make people actually meeting those intents. Other things that we can see here is like evolving experiences, and I think that aligns with what your expectations are, Axel, going forward. Like more fun, intuitive, interactive ways of shopping products. Imagine how you're using Pinterest, for example. You write something in, I want a summer dress for a wedding or whatever. And the first result is pretty close to what you want, right? But when you start clicking, it evolves and you get closer and refining. And suddenly you're in this universe where you feel desire to everything you see, right? Imagine that experience on site. I'm just looking forward to that. I mean, that's what shopping should be all about in the future, I think. And I'm not going to be, I'm just going to sum it up here, but I think you will see it's important to bring this intents to bigger features, like, occasion PLPs. Why should it not be possible to filter products through occasion rather than to just jackets? Things like that, but also smaller, smarter initiatives like, how you combine products and how smarter ways to comparison products between each other and things like that. Just a couple of thoughts on how I think we will see the difference going forward, and also how a big difference and need for where we are right now. That was my chapter.
Makes sense. Excited for that Pinterest style experience as well. I think that would be cool. We've gone from quite static to more images, and
yeah,
I kind of want more videos and engagement stuff in there as well. Same as in the trajectory.
Yeah.
There was another question here from the channel that relates to that. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Yes. If storefronts as a sales channel start to disappear and most traffic flow through AI interfaces, what will we actually sell to store owners, especially with the universal commerce protocol coming? Okay, big one. Who wants to tackle this? I mean, I think first and foremost, like the universal commerce protocol, you can think of it as a protocol that exists, like a common language for agentic shopping online, essentially. Like a protocol, if you abide by this, agents can find your products easier, essentially. I don't think personally that storefronts as a sales channel will start to disappear too much. I think they will differ. I mean, I think e-commerce is split into two: agentic shopping and human shopping, right? With both of them being super important. So agentic shopping, you have this product taxonomy that's super important. Centra can deliver that, right? But then you also have the human side, which we just talked about. We want to make a bit more playful, maybe, generally speaking. So I think the same way as online shopping came, it's way more convenient to shop online, but people still go to a store to get that experience. I think you can think of it similar. It's not like I will, put everything to an agent and do all the shopping for me. So I don't think that will disappear, especially not for like fashion brands, which is what we talked about here.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. I mean, we've heard, there's been new, I mentioned it in the beginning, there's been new channels coming up since the beginning of commerce, basically. And when I started at Centra, DTC was the new silver bullet. Everyone was going DTC only. Everyone said that wholesale is dead, brick and mortar is dead, everything's dead. All brands will be DTC from now on and forward. That trend held its weight for a couple of years, and then people started to realize that actually diversifying builds a much stronger experience, builds your brand across all channels, and there's different synergies that you can capture by operating across all channels. Same thing with marketplaces. Amazon's coming. Okay, DTC is dead. What are we going to do now? Turns out it's also just another channel. So I think the way to think about it is that you have a new channel here that you can use and be really creative with and sell more with. But I think diversifying across multiple channels is the way forward. This is just another channel in the mix.
100%. I'm curious, Henrik, what you think here. I mean,
being on the front of it all, it is just, and it's not just another channel. It's a great channel, but
Yes.
it's a whole picture. So we haven't seen a decline in traffic from other channels. It's just an extra layer that that is super exciting, and it's still very young layer. So it's just an add-on which does something differently, because it's very concrete versus Meta or TikTok, where it gets really broad and very inspirational. So it's something different. It's super, because I'm going to shop for office pants, office chinos. Okay, that broadens it, or narrows it a lot. Compared with the old channels, so to speak.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you guys. As I've seen when I've interviewed clients, also is that so far, well, we're talking about it now, and it feels like a really important topic, which is always is for the future, but it's still a kind of a small percentage of the traffic that comes from these agents right now. It's going to blow up, of course. And we need to be ready. But I mean, there's still physical stores out there that has people in it. So I mean, we just need to look at different people's, once again, intent and need for how they will purchase products. And I do think there's room for different channels, as you mentioned. A good question, tricky one, but good. Did you have one more? No?
Yeah, last one here. Sorry, this was people were engaged about this one. So Daniel, great points, but I'm curious if e-commerce has fundamentally peaked. Since basic shopping is solved, aren't new tools just incremental nice-to-haves rather than true game changers for buyers?
Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, I don't know about you guys. I think it hasn't peaked, and I think it's not even close. I think the big issue with e-com is we are not even close of being able to portray products in a good way for people to understand what the value is, what the tactility is. We have a huge problem with people sending back products when they bought them, because they don't understand the fitting, they don't understand the sizing and the materials and all those things. So I don't agree that we have peaked. I do think we have a lot to do to be able to create better experiences for people, and I only think we can evolve here. Of course, it's going to be challenged, but when it's challenged, that's when we are improving also, and I do think that's why this is so exciting. I'm not afraid of this in terms of business. I see this as, I mean, it's a big potential for us to do better stuff and create better experiences, because I'm quite, to be honest, I'm quite unimpressed by e-commerce today all over. I want us to be better than we are today, and of course, 07 has taken a leap here, and you have far more to show also, Henrik. But yeah, that's my point. Do you want to add something, guys?
I agree with you, and I think just to add to that, I mean, I'm excited about all the channels, but one that I think is particularly exciting, which I feel doesn't get as much attention as potentially shopping through ChatGPT, is like, what does this enable you to do on your own site, your own flagship store? Like, because that's, I mean, if you are a fashion brand, that's where you have most of your brand equity store. That's also where you have the highest profits. That's where you can have the strongest relationship with the customer. How can you enable, on-site agents in your own store to help guide you to make the right decision, or to help you sign up to a new loyalty program, or to, whatever, help you know when it's time to repair your jeans, or whatever it may be. I think there's huge opportunities to improve the on-site experience as well. I feel like that's not taken as much space in the conversation, but yeah, that's one I'm particularly excited about.
And also one thing, we're going to start to sum this up soon. Do you have more questions, Axel, or?
A few, but I think we can follow up, individually with some of those as well. We'll collect them and follow up per email.
But I do think the question is kind of framed a bit around e-commerce as a shop also. Max, you're mentioning digital flagship stores, and that's what we are always trying to frame the narrative around at Grebban also. It's the demands on the site today isn't just shopping products. It's millions of people are streaming through this platform, and people are entering your doors, and it's up to you guys and up to us as partners to treat them with as much as respect and validate them, to make them become loyal to the brand, to come back, to bring lifetime value to the business, right? And so this is what flagship stores is about. It's more of a business development tool rather than just a shop today. And I think that's important to understand going forward. We can't just lean towards the purchase. We need to be more caring about these visitors, because they have actually stepped inside our doors. So we need to treat them well, right?
Yeah.
It's business critical, I think. You agree, Henrik?
I agree. I mean, baseline is that when they are on our website or in store, for that matter, it doesn't really matter for us. I mean, where they do a purchase per se, as long as they are within our territory. So, and as long as they're getting met with the demands they have, or whatever suits the consumer the best, is kind of my way to approach it. So if it's doing a purchase on our store and pick it up in retail, it's fine, as long as they're getting the best possible experience.
Yeah. Love those questions. That really sparked the dialogue here. We're gonna sum it up pretty soon, but just a couple of questions to you guys. I love to sum it up with some actions and some predictions for the future. So what do you guys think will happen in the closest 18-24 months on this topic? What changes will we see, do you think? I don't know who starts. So with you, Axel, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for the positive vibes that we just had. I mean, it's really fun to be in the retail and e-com space right now. These AI tools are actually, I mean, you slowly start to see the change of new ways of interacting with brands, and not just, as you say, going into exploring a brand and finding products that you like and have a relationship with. So I think, I mean, that's broader speaking. I think we'll start to see more experimental stuff on the front end, which I'm really looking forward to. And then just generally speaking, and more based on I think the level of e-commerce will improve. Again, there was super simple example. You should be able to write in whatever language in your search bar and get whatever results, or do more than just the keywords base.
Yeah.
That's one tiny example of how e-commerce incrementally becoming better. While we do this more creative, bigger thinking, or bigger changes, essentially. So I'm super positive. Obviously, we all in this room, we have lots of work to do, but it's exciting, and you really start to see that the needle is moving. E-commerce won't look the same in 24 months' time. I think you'll see more variety and more creativity.
Yeah. What about you, Henrik?
We touched upon it at the beginning. It's intelligent agentic searches on our website, doing it personalized. So cater for each individual what their needs is. If it's a special occasion, as you mentioned, Emil, earlier, kind of like, and that the data structure also meets those searches. So doing it intelligent, that is the extra layer.
Yeah. Max, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I guess to add to that, I'm just excited about Discovery moving from pure navigation to more intent.
Yeah.
So basically, you land on a digital flagship store, and instead of yourself browsing and trying to find the right product, you might be already guided by intent signals like weather, location, inventory availability, style preferences, whatever it might be. So I think there's a lot to be done there. I think we'll see a lot of change there over the next years to come.
Great. And from my point, I totally agree also. And I feel like the next steps for brands right now should be to walk and approach this. You can do it in different pace, of course, and you can focus on different things. But to start having a dialogue at your house on what kind of strategy is best for you regarding this, because it's always brand unique. You have to do it your own way. But I don't think you can ignore it, because it's becoming a real thing, and it's a shift we need to just tag along with and do the best we can with, and it's only have a big potential, I think, for everyone, including the end customer. That was basically it. It was really nice chatting with you guys. I think we've learned a lot. I have, as creative director. It's really nice to hear some parts from you, Max and Axel. So I've learned quite a bit. I think we will end up there, and hopefully you guys that joined the conversation and have listening in has learned on how you can approach this question, and hopefully it doesn't feel as scary as it might have felt before.
Clean up your product data.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think we are rounding up like that. You feel the same way, Axel?
Absolutely. No, thanks everyone for listening, and we'll follow up with some of the questions over email, and feel free to reach out to any of us with some follow-up questions, and do have a look at NN07 and nice stuff from there as well.
And if you find any bugs, email Henrik and he will fast forward it to me, right?
For sure.
Perfect.
As always.
Great.
All right.
Have a nice day, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.